Hello and welcome to my channel. So maybe it's your first time as a project manager and you have been requested to produce a stage or a phase highlight report. You have no idea, you don't know where to start from, you don't know what to include in that report. For example, are you facing any challenges? Are there any issues to be addressed? What risks have you identified, either new, which ones have you closed, which are also old? What lessons learned should we pick? And what are you planning for the next stage? Don't look elsewhere. In this video, I'm going to take you through step by step all that you need to capture in a highlight report which you're supposed to present to the project board. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Oscar Mbira. I'm a certified program and project manager. This is the channel which I use to help aspiring and also practicing project managers to succeed. In this video, I'm going to take you through all that you need to capture in a project highlight report which you're supposed to prepare during any phase or any stage of a project, and you're also supposed to present it to the project board. So let's dive in. I've also created a template for you which you can download on the project highlight report. You can check the link in the description for you to be able to download a template for this highlight report. In this section of the video, I'm going to take you through what I'm calling a highlight report in a stage management process. So you want to highlight, don't make it too detailed. You want to highlight the major items or things that you have identified in that particular stage. I'll give you a good example. Assuming your project is running for 3 months and based on your communication strategy, you're supposed to send this highlight report to the project board every month. Okay, so there are so many cases where you need to agree on the communication strategy. If you want to understand more about project communication, I have a video on how to communicate in a project. You can also watch it on my channel. It will help you to appreciate how communication is actually done in a project environment. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you find this video very helpful and you are also new to the channel, don't forget to click the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button so that you're the first person to be notified each time a new video is uploaded on this channel. It will also help the channel to grow. It will also help the channel to produce more videos like this one. So your stage is for 3 months. Now you want to report after a month. You are not reporting for the whole stage because it's not yet complete. You are just 1/3 or 30% into the stage. But you still need to highlight to project board. Remember, project board, they own the project. As a project manager, you're running the project on their behalf, but they own the project. So you want to highlight to them the progress, okay? So the first section that you have to highlight, obviously, it has to be the period. You need to specify the period of your reporting. So it was supposed to be 3 months, that stage. Your period is from first day up to 30 days. That is 1 month. Remember my example, we are looking at you creating a highlight report after 1 month. So it has to be first day to 30 days. You might want to use weeks, first week to 4th week as an example. So there must be some period. Then you also need to capture the date of the highlight report. That is very, very important. You need to put the date. You also need to put the period. And also you need to summarize. That section is very important. You need to summarize as a project manager what has happened in the stage. Did you face any issues in the stage that you want to highlight? Did you face any specific risks that you want to highlight? Were there any quality issues that you might have faced or you might have changed? You also need to highlight. Were there any corrective measures that you have taken to make sure the stage remains within the tolerances, or the stage remains also within the baselines? Project baselines are just like approved starting points of a project. It could be a baseline on a project plan. It could be on the costs. It could be on the technology or even some assumptions, even also some constraints. If you want to understand more about project baselines, I have a video on project baselines. You can also check it on my channel. So once you have managed to summarize, and I'm telling you, you must summarize. I've seen so many project managers trying to detail a highlight report. It shouldn't be like that. In most cases, project board, they might give you 30 minutes to 1 hour. So if you create something that is too detailed, it will be very difficult for you to present that in 30 minutes or even in 1 hour. So make sure all the details, they are also summarized. So once you have summarized, you might also want to highlight. Remember, this is a highlight report. you want to highlight, in terms of the work packages, how many were planned for, and then how many were completed in terms of work packages. Then every work package will have some deliverable or products. Also in terms of products, how many were planned, how many were completed, how many are still pending. And then you also need to look at the quality, okay? If you change the quality, I can tell you there are certain cases where you might be forced to change the quality criteria, not to go down, but to make it a bit higher, especially as more and more information is coming within that stage. So it is also very important for you to highlight that. I've also created for you a very comprehensive ebook on how to manage a stage or a phase in a project environment. You can find the link in the description below. It will also help you to appreciate, to further your understanding of how to manage project stages or project phases in a project environment. This will also increase your chances of making sure your project is successful. So when you are creating this highlight report, one of the important sections you also need to add is the stage tolerance. Get it from me. I've seen some project managers making a mistake of just looking at the project from start up to the end. They don't even normally do a proper planning for a stage, or even if they do a proper planning for a stage, they also do not consider the stage tolerance. Every stage is going to feed into the main plan or main project. So whatever the tolerance you have for the whole project, you can also segregate it into different stages of the project. Say for example, your total cost of the project is 1 million, as an example. And the stage in which you are managing or running at that point, you have a limit of $200,000. So what does it mean? It means you need also to report as a highlight to the project board in terms of the budgeted 200,000. How much have you used? How much is still in the coffers? And also, are you likely going to remain on track in terms of cost? So that's the tolerance that I'm talking about. You also need to assess in terms of time, because there's a cumulative delay that is going to affect the whole project by each and every stage. So in your stage, you want to make sure there are no delays which are going to affect the future stages of the project. So it's also very important that you highlight all those specific tolerances. It could be a tolerance in terms of scope, okay? You wanted to deliver 5 items in that specific stage. Probably you've only managed to deliver 4 of them. 1 is still outstanding. You also need to highlight, of course, giving the reasons. Then the next section, which is also very important, you also need to highlight the key issues and also the key risks that you have identified in that particular stage. It's also important for you to notify the project board on all those particular items. Then, the last but not least is the lessons report. You also need to highlight major lessons that you have picked from that particular stage. Then once all these are all highlighted, on your highlight report, remember we are looking at an example where the stage is 3 months, our highlight report is after 4 weeks. So you also need to highlight the next activities from that checkpoint, okay? What do I mean by checkpoint? 1 month or 4 weeks, you are reporting. So from 4 weeks to 3 months, what else is going to happen? Or for the next month, what else is going to happen? You also need to highlight in terms of the work package. You also need to highlight in terms of the planned work packages. You also need to highlight in terms of planned deliverables or even products. You might also need to highlight in terms of team structure. Is it going to be the same team or there's going to be a difference? Or you might also want to highlight in terms of benefits. Are there any benefits that you're going to realize in the next phase, and so on and so forth? That is very, very important when you're a project manager and you're managing a stage. So, in most cases, you'll find that a stage might have so many changes that might be requested by either the specialist team or anyone or any stakeholder that is interested in the project. So in your highlight report, assuming you have picked 1 or 2 requests for change, you also need to highlight the changes that were requested. You also need to highlight their impact. Were there any impact? If there was an impact, you also need to highlight if there were corrective measures or actions that you have taken. You also need to highlight them in the highlight report. That is very, very important. Don't leave out any requests for changes that you have experienced throughout the stage of that project. If you want me to create additional videos based on what we have covered in this video, or maybe there's a specific concept which is not very clear to you, feel free to reach out to me, or you can let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.